The Archdiocese of Chicago is a vibrant and diverse faith community. We celebrate our faith through worship, evangelization, and reaching out to the needy. Welcome to Catholic Chicago.
Good morning and welcome to Mission Matters Live. My name is Megan Mio and I'm the Director of the Global Mission Office here at the Archdiocese of Chicago. Our engineer this morning is Mike. You are here with us at Mission Matters Live, a program focused on promoting a spirit of mission among the people of God in the Archdiocese of Chicago. And you're listening to WNDZ 750 AM. Mission Matters airs on the second Wednesday of the month at 8 a.m. Central. This month, we are blessed to have with us Sisters Teresa Quintero, Adriana Galay, and Revelina Santiago, who are members of the Congregation of Sisters of Jesus Good Shepherd, also known as Suore Pastorelle in Italian and Hermanas Pastorcitas in Spanish. The Sisters of Jesus Good Shepherd seek to communicate Jesus Christ as the way, truth, and life to the world. They share in the pastoral mission of Christ, building up Christian communities in communion with the pastors of the Church and in collaboration with those who are dedicated to pastoral care. Sister Teresa and Revelina are Pastoral Associates at Mary Mother of Martyrs Parish in Des Plaines, formerly known as St. Stephen Proto-Martyr and St. Mary. And Sister Adriana is ministering as a Pastoral Associate at the Shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe in Des Plaines. These sisters are living together as a small religious community, the first members of their congregation to live and minister in North America. I have had the pleasure of collaborating with them for the last 2 years as they offered mission appeals for the benefit of their sisters who minister in Santa Victoria Este, Salta in Argentina. We will ask them more about all of this here today, as well as their vocation to being missionary sisters. So, good morning, Sisters Teresa, Adriana, and Revelina, and thank you for joining us, and welcome.
Good morning. Hello.
Buenos días, también.
So
Y bienvenidas, welcome. So,
Gracias.
wonderful. Now, I know that the three of you come from different places, and the three of you have different stories, what brought you here to the Chicago area. So I thought maybe we could start with just a few words of introduction, a little more about each of you. So where are each of you from, and can you tell us about your journey to becoming a missionary sister? Where have you lived and ministered before here in Chicago? So, quizás primera, Sor Adriana, por favor.
Yeah.
First.
My name is Adriana. I'm from Argentina. I come from my missionary work was carried out on my country. I worked for a long time with missionary childhood and adolescent teenager of the Pontifical Mission Societies.
Wow.
It's a long time.
With the now here in the U.S.
Yes.
We call it the Missionary Childhood Association.
Yeah.
It's the same thing there in Argentina. Okay.
From my first profession until arrive here is that I carried out many popular mission. Is the modality we are in a community. Family are visit, children and young people are evangelization, visit the sick, work with the word of the God, and other activity. It's at the place, it's a popular mission. It's generally we did in vacation, and young people, men and women, accompanying us is the activity.
Many different ministries. When you say popular mission, you mean working with the people, right? With the communities, with young people? Wonderful.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And then Sister Teresa, tell us about yourself.
My name is Sister Teresa Quintero. I'm working here for the Spanish religious education, and my English is little. This is I introduce you, okay?
No, está bien. ¿De dónde está? Where are you from?
Where are you from? ¿De dónde está?
I'm from Colombia.
Okay, so you come to us from Colombia, and I know Sister Teresa primarily works with Spanish speakers, so her Spanish is better than her English. I understand. This is the life of a missionary. Sister Revelina, will you tell us about yourself, please?
So I am from the Philippines, and so I have been to other countries like Australia. I was assigned in Australia for 6 years first, and then I went back there, and then until they asked me to come here in the United States. So I have my first profession in 1987. So
Wow,
I've been in the religious life for many years.
Wonderful. Now I understand that your congregation, the Sisters of Jesus Good Shepherd, minister in 19 countries around the world. And we've just named a few where each of you come from and where you've ministered. I wonder if you can tell, excuse me, Sister Revelina, wonder if you could tell us a little bit more about the congregation, about your charism and your mission. Please, what should we know?
Yeah, so as you can hear, that our congregation is named Sisters of Jesus Good Shepherd. So we are really following the Good Shepherd. So the center of our lives is really the Good Shepherd. So in our pastoral ministry, we are really following his life as our ministries involved ministering to people. It is the pastoral care of souls. It's not really just the soul, but also the whole person. So each one of us have our own programs to implement in the parishes, collaborating with our pastors and also the lay leaders wherever we are. So our congregation was founded by Blessed James Alberione, and we are members of the Pauline family. As you mentioned, we are in 19 countries, and different countries have different ways of doing our mission. So here in the United States, as Pastoral Associates, we are really creating programs, formation programs for the people, for parents, for youth, and for the children. Yeah. So perhaps as you can see, our website is there. You can check our website too for all the other activities we are doing.
Sure. Yeah. I would make the connection, the Good Shepherd and the pastoral language, right? These are connected. Pastoral refers to shepherding, leading, as Jesus did, right? And so your goal and your mission is to minister as he did, as Christ did. And to work with the people, with the communities. Sister Adriana mentioned that popular mission and ministry, working with the community directly. And you mentioned too the collaboration. We refer to, of course, the pastor of the parish is the shepherd of the parish, and so you all are working directly with him and then any other leaders there in the community. Now, you also mentioned the Pauline family. So who are members of that larger Pauline family that were founded by the same person, correct?
Yeah. We have one founder, and so we are like 5 congregations, religious congregations, and then 5 aggregated institutes. So we are, the first foundation is the Society of St. Paul, and then the Daughters of St. Paul, Pious Disciples of the Divine Master, and we are the 4th foundation, Sisters of Jesus Good Shepherd, and the 5th is the Apostolini. We call them Apostolini. They are focused more on vocations, like taking care of vocations. And then the 5 aggregated institutes are the Annunciatini, the Gabrielini, and then the Institute of Jesus Priest, and then the Institute of Holy Family, and the Pauline Cooperators. So our founder is really like so inspired to really bring together this family, big family.
Yeah, it seems like many different vocations and people of different walks of life can be called to be part of this Pauline family with all these different institutes. And it sounds too, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's some Italian influence on those names. Is your kind of mother house, the center of the congregation in Italy?
Yeah.
You're based there?
Yes, we were founded in Italy because our founder is an Italian priest.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, so Father Alberione was an Italian priest, and actually our congregation was founded because he was so inspired. He was like an associate pastor in one of the parishes when he was a young priest, and he thought of the need for like mothers and sisters in the parish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
If the priests are the fathers in the parish, so he thought, we need women in the church.
Yes. What about the mothers? Beautiful.
Yeah.
And now, in particular, I think this makes your congregation stand out in the Pauline family is that you are missionary as well, right? That's a fundamental element to your mission, correct?
Yes.
Going forth.
That's correct. Yeah. So. So because we are an international congregation, so we know that we can be assigned in different places. Yeah, and anytime they can tell us, oh, you are like our leaders will discern who will be sent to different countries. Yeah.
And you had mentioned that you go where a bishop or a pastor asks you to come, and that's what led you here to the Chicago area, correct?
Correct. Yeah. Because we really do not go to places like parishes or dioceses without the request for our presence. Yeah, so we just go there, and like here, we just came because our present pastor now, Father David Arcila, requested for our presence. Yeah. So we, our Superior General just really discerned, and with the council, they thought that we can really begin a community here.
Wonderful. Yeah, so how exciting. Well, we're going to talk some more about that in just a moment, but it's time for our first break. And so we'll be right back to continue our conversation with Sisters Teresa, Adriana, and Revelina to talk about being missionary sisters. Stay tuned.
Catholic Charities' Loss program was created more than 40 years ago to help survivors of suicide, wherever they are in the grieving process. This nationally recognized program continues to offer a safe, non-judgmental environment where survivors of suicide can find community, direction, and resources for healing after suffering the devastating loss of a loved one. Online and in-person services are available for individuals, couples, children, and families of all faith traditions. To learn more, call 312-655-7283 or email loss@catholiccharities.net. Don't suffer alone. We are here to offer loving outreach to survivors of suicide. Contact Catholic Charities today.
I feel special. I feel great. I got good grades.
We've seen a huge surge in our kids now meeting or exceeding grade level. Come check us out. You may have never thought we were an option before.
Our school communities provide students with academic excellence and character education in a supportive and stable learning environment. Come see for yourself. Visit archchicago.org/findaschool.
Caring adults make all the difference in the lives of adolescents. Catholic Charities understands this, and our mentorship programs provide a free opportunity for young adults to spend time with volunteers who genuinely care about them. This program is ideal for youth aged 9 through 12 who may need support navigating the challenges of childhood and early adolescence. Our amazing volunteers serve as friends who help youth recognize their strengths and empower them to reach their full potential. Catholic Charities conducts a thorough background check on every volunteer, and our program coordinator closely monitors and supports every relationship. Mentoring is a fun after-school program that can help young adults build confidence and enjoy fun activities with their peers, too. To learn more, visit CatholicCharities.net or call 312-655-7970 in Cook County and 847-782-4224 in Lake County. We're connecting youth with great role models. Join us today.
Welcome back to Mission Matters Live. I am Megan Mio, Director of the Global Mission Office, and I'm here with Sisters Teresa, Adriana, and Revelina, Sisters of Jesus the Good Shepherd, also known as Suore Pastorelle in Italian and Hermanas Pastorcitas in Spanish. Sisters Teresa and Revelina are Pastoral Associates at Mary Mother of Martyrs Parish in Des Plaines, and Sister Adriana is Pastoral Associate at the Shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe in Des Plaines. So in our last segment, we were talking about the Pastoral Sisters, also known as Sisters of Jesus the Good Shepherd, and more broadly talking about the work of their congregation, where each of these wonderful sisters have come from to join us here in Chicago. We mentioned that their congregation is missionary and that they serve in 19 countries around the world. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about their ministries right here in Chicago. And I mentioned to Sister Revelina when we were talking about this interview that, we here in Chicago are receiving missionaries ministering to us here. And so I'd like to hear about what that missionary ministry looks like here in Chicago. So I know all three of you have the title of Pastoral Associates both at the parish and the shrine. So I wonder if you can tell us about your responsibilities. And perhaps, Sister Teresa, could you start?
My responsibilities here are the accompanying all the ministry Spanish, Spanish ministry, and I am oh my goodness, I'm nervous. And Spanish Religious Education Director, and all the ministries I accompany there. Okay.
Basically, all the ministries in Spanish. It sounds like
I speak only Spanish.
Right. Yeah. So but that is a lot of ministry, and that's at Mary Mother of Martyrs Parish. correct?
Yeah.
And now,
The Sister Revelina in English and me in Spanish.
in Spanish, right? Yeah, and that makes sense. You both are doing, I'm sure, many of the same ministries, but in the two different languages. And so, Sister Revelina, tell us about your responsibilities then. They're similar to Sister Teresa?
Right now, because of the Renew My Church, we are really part of the planning team, the core team. We have the core team in English and core team in Spanish because we want to really unify the two parishes. We are in the process of strengthening the parishes.
Yeah.
The one parish now. And so we're helping in that process. And it's not easy. So we're really contributing our ideas and also trying to tap people, our parishioners, to help us. And at the moment, we are also in the process of goal setting. So we have finished our assembly already, calling all the ministry leaders and also their members to give us their feedback so that we can really set the goal for the parish. And aside from that, we also give formation. So the formation is really not only for religious education. This is also happening in Spanish with the Spanish programs. So we are creating programs, holistic program, not only spiritual formation, but also whenever there are needs, we also think of that. We also encourage our parishioners to be aware of the need of those people who are less fortunate. So we are helping in those things. Also formation, because we really want our people in our parishioners are also, we are really aiming that they also grow in their relationship with the Lord and to know the Lord. Especially, there are many children who are not really in the Catholic schools, and they really need formation. They need to know the Lord. And so, we're focusing on that also, and also the formation of parents. And including with that is also the catechist, the ongoing formation of catechists.
Right. I mean, what I'm hearing with formation too is, with adults, is trying to encourage leaders in the parish community, people who will then help lead one another in their families, in their neighborhoods, in throughout the parish. So you need adults who are fully formed and who are have their strong relationship with Christ, so that they can share that with others, and then certainly the children as well, as they're growing and maturing, to grow in their relationship with Jesus as well through the religious education. And all the other ministries. It's a lot. Honestly, I mentioned being a pastoral associate can mean many things. I know because I was one myself years ago. I worked at a parish in that role, and it can just be everything. You're in charge of everything. And now Sister Adriana is a pastoral associate at the shrine, the Cerrito, the Shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe. So can you tell us about your responsibilities, please?
Yeah, my work is my job is the shrine is the formation, the parents of religious education, sometimes the formation, the ministry of communion, the lecture, formation, the responsibility, the program formation adult or right, the
RCIA
initiation,
in English,
Christian adult. Therefore, I am part of team liturgical team at the counselor spiritual.
It's all
that is the group, the young people, the girls, young, the daughters Mary.
Okay. Well, wonderful. Would you say that the majority of the ministries at the Shrine of Guadalupe are in Spanish as well?
Spanish.
Yeah.
All Spanish.
Only Spanish.
The offline is the one mass in English.
Yeah.
The bilingual mass, the faiths, important faiths. For example, Daughters Mary, the girls that speaking English, that for me is the very uh, I need the speak English for the
Es un reto.
conversation for girls.
It's a challenge.
Speaking Spanish, the praise in Spanish,
Right.
together speaking is the English, the more language for girls.
Yeah, I think the young children will be more comfortable maybe in English than
young
their
children
parents
or the teenager.
or grandparents. Yeah, the teenagers.
Teenager.
And so if you really want them to understand their faith, sometimes it is better than to offer the ministry in the language they might feel most comfortable. But yeah, I'm sure that you're always adjusting and having to really pay attention to what's happening in the community to offer the ministry that's best.
The front is the place, the all Spanish. That's Frailes of Guadalupe. It's very the place. The more Spanish that arrive here. The more times the most arrive the Philippine, Indian, other peoples that I need speaking in English.
Right. Well, you're doing very well. Thank you. Thank you for joining us here today, both of you who are primarily ministering in Spanish. So now that we have an idea of some of the ministries that you all are involved in here, I wonder if Sister Revelina can say a little bit more of about what we'd spoken about in the last segment, the sort of charism and the mission of the congregation. So how do you consider these ministries that you all are involved in as pastoral ministries, as missionary work? Can you say a little bit about that?
Yes. So as you mentioned, we are like shepherding. Actually, when we were young, we in the Philippines, we are called the shepherdess sisters. Yeah. So because we are really following Jesus and how he laid down his life for the sheep. So everything that we're doing is really like dying to ourselves too, because going to the mission is not really that easy. We have to give up many things and leave our families and the usual places that what we are used to. So and go to a mission but this is really very rewarding too, because I have seen in my life how the Lord has worked in my life as missionary. I know that it's not like I don't go to a mission like I am like I know what I will do. No, it is really the Lord who is giving us the graces that we need in order to really do our work, because it is really forming people. It's not easy to because our work too is not that we are going to live here forever. Our mission is really to tap our leaders, our lay people, and so that when the time comes, we can leave already the parish and they can stand on their own, and they are already really leaders that they will be the one to minister to others, to the parishioners. Yeah. So
that makes sense. This is what a shepherd does,
so
right?
For the things that we are doing, it's really the aim is really to how do you call it? Empower the lay people.
Excellent. Now, the three of you are living in Des Plaines, and you're from three different places. So I wonder, Sister Revelina, you can tell us about your community life here. It's just the three of you, right?
Yes. Yeah, so when we came here, that's the first time we met each other. Maybe we had like a little bit of time because we passed by Colombia before coming here, so we just saw each other, but we haven't really talked. So when we came here, because when we are requested, the pastor will really provide residence for us, so we have to be together. We really live together. We cannot live on our own. So we live together. We have our own project of life. Like we plan our life, like the different aspects of our life. So we plan it as a community, what we're going to do, our own formation, our own consecrated life. How are we going to take care of that too? And also, because we are from different countries, I cannot speak Spanish, although I had Spanish when I was in the university. But they too are still in the process of learning English. So in the community, we are speaking in Italian. So I'm not perfect in my Italian, but we can understand each other.
Sometimes we start speaking in Italian, continue in English, and finish in Spanish. And they start together out each.
It all makes sense in the end. Perfect. Well, that is wonderful. I mean, that's really a perfect example of missionary life, you know, that you just kind of make it work. You just use whatever language you can and it'll all be understood. Well, it's time for another break, but we'll be back in just a moment to talk more about the missionary vocation of the Pastoral Sisters. Come right back.
At Catholic Charities, we want to remind you that we are here for anyone who is a victim of domestic violence or anyone who has a concern about someone they think may be a victim. Domestic violence affects millions of people each year, both women and men, of every race, religion, culture, and economic status. It includes physical, psychological, and emotional abuse, inflicted in both subtle and overt ways. The impact on children can be devastating. If you or someone you know are victims of domestic violence and you are looking for a place for healing and recovery, call us at 773-935-3434 in Cook County and 224-430-4977 in Lake County. A safer, happier tomorrow can begin today.
I am a seminarian.
The Church needs compassionate and well-trained priests to help guide each of us through life.
What inspires me, what draws me always to the priesthood is continue to see priests be a beacon of hope for other people.
You can play a part in the education of these young men as they prepare for a life of service to others.
I want to be that beacon of hope too, and it sets my heart on fire.
To support our seminarians, make your gift at archchicago.org/seminarian fund or call 312-534-7959.
The cemetery ministry is a core ministry of our Catholic faith tied to the corporal works of mercy. It's comforting to know that our Catholic cemeteries are caring for the remains of our loved ones awaiting the resurrection. There are 44 Archdiocese of Chicago Catholic cemeteries willing to help you in your time of loss. Call 708-449-6100 or visit CatholicCemeteriesChicago.org. Catholic Cemeteries, serving the Catholic community since 1837.
You're listening to Catholic Chicago. Ahead, the Archdiocese of Chicago brings you programs about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Thanks for letting us be part of your morning. Now again, Catholic Chicago.
Welcome back to Mission Matters Live. I am Megan Mio, Director of the Global Mission Office in the Archdiocese of Chicago, and you're listening to WNDZ 750 AM. I am here with Sisters Teresa, Adriana, and Revelina, the Sisters of Jesus Good Shepherd. These sisters are, Sisters Teresa and Revelina are Pastoral Associates at Mary Mother of Martyrs Parish in Des Plaines, and Sister Adriana is Pastoral Associate at the Shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe. So they are ministering here with us in Chicago. But before the last break, we were learning a little bit more about their community life and their ministries here in the Des Plaines area. And now, I also mentioned earlier that their congregation is missionary and minister in 19 countries around the world. And the three of you come from 3 different places as well. So I wonder if you can tell us some examples, Sister Revelina perhaps, of places where your sisters minister and some of the kinds of work that they do. For example, you shared with me that the Latin American countries where Sister Teresa and Adriana belong, Colombia and Argentina, are now considered one province together. So can you share with us some of the different ministries your sisters do in those countries, in all the 19 countries? But some examples, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
In different countries, for example, we have also in Taiwan, so our sisters are really ministering to the local people and really educating them in faith. Some of us, like in the Philippines, we have, because of the poverty in the Philippines, sometimes our sisters also go to places where we go for medical missions. If the places are so far and there are no hospitals, no doctors, and so we have our friends, like if we have doctors, doctor friends like that, dentists, we go for like a medical mission and go to those places and provide medical like medicines like that, and also to cure some sickness. And like in Argentina, as we mentioned, Sister Adriana can also elaborate on that and what we do in Argentina. And also, I want to mention also that in the Philippines, we have the feeding program. We have like malnourished children, and then it's like a 6-month program. We weigh them, the children, we weigh them in the beginning of the month, and then we will feed them and provide food for them. And then after 6 months, we will try to weigh them again. And it's very, very touching that sometimes you can really see how we have helped the people. Although it's not from us, there are a lot of benefactors who give us amount of money to be able to sustain that program, that project. So like for example, when I was in Australia, that was the time I was able to meet a group of people, like they are Filipino community too, and they asked me, "Sister, would you like to have a project for the poor?" And just give us the plan or the project proposal, and we were able to submit that, and up to now they are really sending money to sustain the feeding program.
Wow. So I would guess too that your sisters are particularly sent and ministering in areas where there's poverty, maybe rural areas where there aren't good nutrition or good medical care. A lot of our missionaries, these are just basic human needs, but our missionaries, I'm sure like your sisters, are doing all this while proclaiming the good news of Jesus Christ, right? Providing these basic things, but also sharing the faith.
That's right. Because also, especially for the parents, they have catechesis. While they are feeding the children, they have catechesis for parents.
Yes. Okay.
Because they are also teaching them how to really feed their children, how to have a good, nutritious food like that. So, and also about the faith. They catechize the parents.
Well, I always sort of talk about it as human dignity. We're caring for human dignity. People deserve to have nutritious foods, deserve to have good medical care that improves their sense of their dignity. And then in that we can say, and Jesus Christ wants this for you. We all deserve to be cared for and to have what we need in order to live a healthy life, a dignified life. I know you mentioned Sister Adriana is from Argentina, and the mission appeals these last few years, I believe, were for the benefit of a mission there in Argentina. So I wonder if Sister Adriana could say a little bit about what your sisters do there.
Yeah, it's Argentina is for part the Spanish-speaking province. Spanish-speaking is the 9th country: Argentina, Uruguay, Chile, Bolivia, Peru, Colombia, Venezuela, Mexico, and Cuba. It's so big, so big. It's the different culture and different need. It's the in Argentina, especially this Salta. We have collaborations with the Appeal Mission, working with the nativity community, Wichi, ethnia Wichi. That's all.
They're indigenous.
In the north of the country, so for evangelization and promotion of one human, is the together at the announcement of Jesus, the health and materially assistance, a school, a small house, and intermediate do das they call they craft at algún place is that you have different graph is the in the sister is the intermediate for the by with the graph and all time sometimes is the with the health professional for medical assistance.
Yeah, I think that this is another example of
for example, Salta, the other community, the catechesis, mission, liturgy, formation of pastoral is that is specific to each place. It's different. For example, Bolivia, Cuba, or Uruguay, Colombia, Mexico is different.
Yeah, I'm sure that the needs are different in each place, but I think these are all examples of this ministry of providing these basic needs, depending on that particular situation, what the particular struggle or challenge for that community might be. Your sisters will respond, all while proclaiming the good news as missionaries and as ministers of the church. Pastoral sisters. Well, we're running out of time quickly. It's time for our last break, and we have just one more segment to go. So we'll be back in just a moment to conclude our conversation with our three sisters here with us, Sister Teresa, Adriana, and Revelina, Sisters of Jesus Good Shepherd. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay tuned.
Did you know that Catholic Charities accepts car donations? If you're ready to free up space in your garage and put a stop to all those expenses that go along with owning a car, we will gratefully accept your donation, whether the car is running or not. You choose a pickup time that is convenient for you, and we will make the donation as easy as possible, free of charge. You'll receive a charitable donation receipt as well. We accept all types of vehicles nationwide, and you will know that your donation is made to Catholic Charities, an agency you can trust. To learn more about donating your car, call 877-786-4483. That's 877-786-4483. Thank you.
People always say, how can you spend your day with 3-year-olds? Seeing the changes that they go through and just the journey and how they grow, this is a very rewarding job. Even though at the end of the day, we're not the highest paid people on earth. And when I have a parent contact me and say, my child loves school, that to me, I'm setting that foundation for their love of learning, because really you are changing lives, you are molding lives.
Shape the next generation of leaders. Teach. Apply today at archchicago.org/schooljobs.
Catholic Charities' Lost program was created more than 40 years ago to help survivors of suicide wherever they are in the grieving process. This nationally recognized program continues to offer a safe, non-judgmental environment where survivors of suicide can find community, direction, and resources for healing after suffering the devastating loss of a loved one. Online and in-person services are available for individuals, couples, children, and families of all faith traditions. To learn more, call 312-655-7283 or email loss@catholiccharities.net. Don't suffer alone. We are here to offer loving outreach to survivors of suicide. Contact Catholic Charities today.
Welcome back to Mission Matters Live. I am Megan Mio, Director of the Global Mission Office here in the Archdiocese of Chicago, and I'm here with Sisters Teresa, Adriana, and Revelina, Sisters of Jesus the Good Shepherd, also known as Suore Pastorelle in Italian or Hermanas Pastorcitas in Spanish. All three of these sisters are ministering with us here in the Archdiocese in Des Plaines. And for those of you who are viewing our video, you've been seeing images from their website where you can learn more about the Pastoral Sisters. Their website is www.pastorelle.org. That's www.pastorelle.org. And that website is available in multiple languages because the sisters do minister in many different places around the world where they speak these different languages. Now we're coming to the end of our conversation. We've learned quite a lot about their congregation and about your ministries here with us, sisters. I want to ask Sister Revelina if you would reflect with us for a moment. We wanted to talk about this vocation of being a missionary sister. And I wondered if you could just reflect for a moment on what your advice would be for a young woman who might be considering the vocation of becoming a missionary sister.
I think if I'm going to talk about vocation, I want to focus on vocation also. So vocation is really a gift from the Lord, so it's not really our own decision. We really need to discern if this is really a call from God. And so there's really a need to really nurture our relationship with God. So young girls need to really spend time in prayer too, and so that we can listen. We cannot obey God if we do not listen. We don't know how to listen to Him. So we need to spend time to listen to the Lord so that we can respond to His call. And then as a missionary, we live in community and we work with people. So for me, it's very important to also grow in maturity. So because it's like even community life, it is very challenging to live in community, especially if we just meet each other like that, like us now. So we really need to be mature women. We need to grow in maturity. And then another thing is, our founder, Blessed James Alberione, he always says, you have to be prepared. So you have to be prepared. So it's also important to give importance to your studies. Because we're going to minister to people, so we need to also know what we're going to do. And also, as our founder said too, everything is for the mission. So we study because for the mission. Okay, so so the young girls, the young women out there, hopefully you try to also give importance to your studies so that when the time comes, you are also prepared and you are, So I think that's what I would like to encourage young girls
Good
are
advice.
listening and viewing this Mission Matters Live.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, good advice. I think you're right about vocation. I mean, I would agree with you on the topic of vocations, that this is something that what you're trying to find out is what really God has imagined for you, has dreamed for you. And it should be right. It should feel right for you. It shouldn't be something that you're trying to force, right? And so it does take really listening to what God has to say and how you respond to what God has shared in your life. But I would say too, I think missionary life is an adventure. It's a wonderful gift, but it definitely has its challenges. Thank you for mentioning about community life as well. That's important for being a religious woman, is you're always living in community. We're always engaging with people, interacting with people. And that can be a blessing and that can be a challenge, of course, working with God's people. A beautiful thing. Well, you know, today our show is airing on Ash Wednesday, the beginning of the season of Lent, the holy season of Lent. And so I wonder too if you could reflect, just as your final words. We have a few minutes still, so please take your time. And I wonder if Sister Adriana or Sister Teresa would add a word or two as well about what Lent means to you and how that this special time of year feeds your spirit as missionary sisters. But Sister Revelina, would you get us started?
Okay. Yeah. So I'm always thinking about Lent. It's like it is a time for me to really focus a little bit more on more important things than what I am used to do, like everyday things that I'm doing. So for myself and also for the people I minister, I am really trying to like provide opportunities to spend time with the Lord, especially giving retreats or reflection days for myself too, because it is really time for us this Lent to go back to really think of our relationship with God, because sometimes the whole year it's really very busy year, and this Lent is an invitation for us to do that. And you know, even the Filipino community, I'm also like ministering to our Filipino people here in the parish, and now I'm using the module that the Archdiocese has provided, you know, the Parish Vitality and Mission Office. They provided the module, the 5 sessions that is based on the Cardinal Supich Take, Bless, Break, and Share strategy for Eucharistic revival. So we are going to have our second session already on the first Saturday of March. So that's one example of helping our people in the ministry to also think of their own relationship with God, especially in the Eucharist, now that we are preparing for our Eucharistic Congress.
Yes.
And also even our children, I'm also helping them. We are in the program, we also provide time for them to be able to go to confession, and even our parents. And also in the parish, we have in the other side of it, like with the Lord, and also thinking of our own brothers and sisters who are in need. So we are in the parish, we are encouraging our parishioners to do the CRS rice bowl. Yeah, so the Catholic services, Catholic relief services. Yeah. So even our own children in both English and Spanish religious education program, we give boxes to them, the rice bowl, so that they too will think of our less fortunate brothers and sisters. Okay, so maybe Sister Adriana can add some more.
Yeah, Sister Adriana.
For me, the Lent is the good time, conversation time, no? So look again to walk determined to the first state of Jesus. That is for the privilege accompanies for all people. With me, so that for work for Jesus.
Yeah,
that time is privileged time.
It is. Yeah, I mean, the 40 days of Lent are meant to reflect that 40-day retreat that Jesus took at the beginning of his ministry.
Conversions, praise, charity.
Yes. Prayer, fasting, and charity. Yes. Those, and it sounds like the examples that you all have given of the things that you are doing with the parish and the shrine, and what.
Yeah, the shrine is the service of Lent. The Wednesday Ash is 4 months, 3 service of Ash. Is the all time is the especially the Sunday is the contribute of food for charity of Catholic.
Yes,
the 3 years this activity is the people is the very give for food for charity. Charity Catholics. The next place of shrine is receive this gift.
Yes, so you're talking about giving food to Catholic Charities as well as another activity during the season of Lent. I mean, I think these are all excellent practices. I think that I was thinking, as you mentioned, the services on Ash Wednesday, that people, it's amazing that people come out. They come out in large numbers on Ash Wednesday. And during the season of Lent, I think this time of repentance, this time of returning to Jesus, it does touch people's hearts, even those who may not be going to Mass regularly or who may not be very involved in their parishes. Something is calling them back this time of year, and it is a wonderful time to recommit ourselves to prayer, getting to know Christ a little bit more closely, fasting, sacrificing in our lives, and charity and giving. And we always know we receive more when we give. So wonderful to hear that these are all practices that each of you are practicing and is very much a part of your ministries as well. So that was wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing with us today. Thank you for joining us, Sisters Teresa, Adriana, and Revelina. It's been a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're blessed to receive you as sisters here and missionaries to us here in the Archdiocese of Chicago. I pray that we will be able to collaborate on mission and seek new ways to continue the pastoral ministry of Jesus Christ together. So thank you. And thank you for listening, everyone. Remember, always be on mission.
Join us every Monday through Friday at this time for Catholic Chicago. You can stream our programs live or listen to past programs by visiting our website, archchicago.org, and clicking on Radio TV. And please connect with Catholic Chicago on social media.